Everyone, and welcome to another plant spotlight. This one is for February 1st, 2018. So today, and you may recognize this Phalaenopsis that because I just did a video involving it like a couple days ago. This is my Phalaenopsis, trade name Mucala. So it's technically a no ID, but that's just the trade name that has been given. But this one is just too fabulous that I had to do a little spotlight on it. So I've had this one a few years now, 4 years. And so the thing I like about this one is, well, for one, the leaves, they're speckled and they're just really nice looking. I really love them. And it's a very fast grower. You can see how many leaves this thing has on and how long it's been growing. These older leaves are a lot worse for wear, but they're still on somehow. But it's in spike, as you can see. Let me turn it over a little bit. It's in spike. We got a one main spike, and then we got this branch right here, which is the first time I've ever gotten a Phalaenopsis spike to branch for me. But it's bloomed a bunch before. There's a spike here, two spikes here, two spikes here. There's the spike that's open right there. And so it's been blooming a while. It bloomed last year was these two spikes, and it got first and novice for, I believe it was novice I entered in, for my Orchid Society, and so I thought that was pretty cool. But it's the flowers, and I'll do another video involving that when it opens, but I just couldn't wait to do a spotlight on this one. The flowers are a brilliant purple and they've got a white picotee around the edge of the petals and sepals, and they're very speckled. It's the coolest flower I've seen on a random Phalaenopsis from the grocery store. And so this one is it's fabulous. I as you may notice, I have not staked the spike. I do not like staking my Phalaenopsis spikes. I like allowing them to grow out to the way they want, and then the weight of the buds weighing the spike down, and do a kind of like a pseudo cascade. I really like the effect. It saves a little bit of space for me because these shelves aren't tall enough for a staked phal to fit in comfortably. So I just don't, because it looks nicer to me to not. This one up here is also not staked. But for this one, all of my Phalaenopsis grow pretty warm, except for in the fall when I bring them into the spike window and set them there, hoping to get them to spike. And then they come back into the greenhouse, which sits around 60. The lowest was 66, but right now it sits around the lowest of 68, 69, 70 as the lowest, because I'm starting to warm it up for an early spring. But once that happens and they get back into the warmer temperatures of the greenhouse, spike growth just goes crazy. This thing just rapidly expanded. For when I was in the window inside, it barely grew like an inch long, and then I brought it in here, and then all the way out here, and it's looking amazing so far. I can't wait for this one to be in bloom again. It had a very faint fragrance last time it bloomed, but it didn't remain for long, so I don't know for sure if it did or have it or not. So I'm gonna check again when these flowers open and see if it does, because if it does, that's amazing. And if it doesn't, well, oh well. I'm not a fragrance freak. Like, I like fragrance, and I love having orchids that are fragrant, but if it's not a fragrant orchid, but I like the flower or the plant, I'll go with it. I'm not one to be picky, but I just love the look of these. And the younger buds, they're just so shiny and nice, and the older buds are a nice purple. They're already showing their true colors. So this one's a very quick grower too. It'll grow a leaf, it'll finish like a leaf once a month easily. Although usually will start growing around midsummer and grow a few leaves. So last growing season, it grew 1, 2, 3, 4. It grew those 4. The season before that, these 4, and these were the older leaves. And it did have a few more down here, but it lost them over time. So this one's just a very nice grower, very easy grower. Not very picky, seems to do just fine. And the leaves are interesting because they're long and strap-like rather than the stiff, fatter phal leaves that some phals have. This one's just easily one of my favorites, and so you can see how old it is by the base here. It just looks wild, and there's a air root growing right there off this older root. It's just wild. It's a very easy grower and a very fabulous plant. So if you see this one in stores and you see an orchid with like these patterned leaves, I highly recommend getting it. It's a very rewarding hybrid, even if it's not identifiable. So thank you for joining me, and this has been another Plant Spotlight.